major thing that we have a problem with as Christians is when we start learning about God's love and we start being convicted by those principles and realizing, man, I'm not that. We tend to be a little bit like Peter at the end of the book of John where Jesus asks him, hey Peter, do you love me? And he uses the Greek word agape, which is God's love. And Peter responds, he says, Jesus, I phileo you. He uses a lesser word because after seeing the cross, he realizes, man, there's no way I could tell Jesus I love him like that. There's no way I could attain to that. But the beautiful thing about Jesus is that the third time he asks Peter, he says, Peter, do you phileo me? He stoops down to Peter's level. And when I read that, when I understand that as a man who's gripped by that conviction, it gives me immense hope because I understand that Jesus says, now I'm going to meet you where you're at, but we're moving towards agape. And that's where Jesus, his heart is to move you and me into his agape love, to teach us to love like he does. And Bo, what's the major biblical way that we do that?
I think it's by fixing our eyes on Jesus. The Bible tells us in Hebrews chapter 12, he is the author and finisher of our faith. 2 Corinthians chapter 3, I'm not sure the exact verse, but 2 Corinthians chapter 3 tells us that when we behold Jesus, we actually become like him. And those passages tell us something, is that as we gaze at Jesus, and that's the beautiful thing about our battles against sexual sin, is that we might think there's a ton of things we need to do. Well, really what we need to do is start looking at Jesus. And as we start gazing upon him, we grow fond of Jesus. He becomes precious to us. And through the transforming work of the Holy Spirit, things change in us. And it changes in our minds and in our bodies. Where even if we do stumble into watching porn, it's not the same anymore, right? We watch porn and we kind of walk away from it and we go, dang, that wasn't as cool as it used to be, And because something's happening, we're starting to behold Christ. We're seeing the betterment, we're experiencing the betterment. And so it's hard to go back to that mud pie, you know what I mean? When you have something like a beautiful Sunday, as C.S. Lewis alluded to in The Eternal Way to Glory.